What is up? Good morning, peeps. I've had 3 cups of coffee. How about yourself? Today was the first stream for Nickmercs on Kick ever since leaving Twitch, which he still will be streaming on, but now Kick will be his priority. Expect a few videos in the coming days on some of the things that he broke down. One of the more interesting things, though, being leaking part of his Twitch contract, which I think a lot of people were unaware of and a lot of people have different opinions on. It was Nickmercs saying that apparently for his Twitch contract and deal, they were taking all of his sub money. 100% of it. Here it is.
You can do the math. I mean, I don't know why, but it's fucking awesome. I love that. Okay. With that being said, for a long time now, and I don't know how you're gonna feel about me telling you this, but I'm just gonna tell you, I didn't see any of that. Like I got paid, you know, like a fixed amount no matter what. You know what I mean? So when someone comes in the stream and they gift 100, they're just, I mean, I don't. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, I appreciate that. You guys love. You know what I mean? But I don't. That's not mine. You know what I mean? No, I'm serious because you get a certain amount. It's called an MG. Okay. But with Kick on the Kick deal, dude, I get an MG and I get all my shit off my dashboard. You know, so it's still the same appreciation, but I'm sure you guys can imagine like. It's a little bit different when...
And I think it's also really important to clarify in this statement, I can't grab it right now because Nickmercs is still live and that's how Kick VODs work. Unfortunately, shortly after he goes on to say, I have no hate for Twitch. And at the end of the day, the X's and O's, after everything was lined up, it was still extremely beneficial for Nick. And it's also a contract and deal that he agreed to. So before everyone starts going to hate on Twitch for this, I think we should just sit down and discuss it for what it is. And that's how, well, unfortunately, how apparently a lot of streamer deals and big contracts have been working for quite some time, whether it's Twitch or YouTube. As we see a lot of the responses out there, apparently this has been a thing for a long time that I think myself included, I don't know about you guys, I had no idea this was even a thing. As Nickmercs goes on to say, he exchanged 100% of his sub revenue for an MG, that being a minimum guarantee he would then receive for Twitch, which was probably still a very, very large number. I just don't even think Nickmercs would expect or projected himself to be one of the top sub Twitch streamers for 3 years running throughout that deal. At the end of the day, Nick probably benefited a lot from this. And I think even he would admit that. I think that people have a general question though is this misleading to an audience who is subbing to support Nick? And then they find out, yo, all of my money was going to Twitch, you know? Which in reality, I can understand if you guys were a long lifetime sub, 3-year sub, gifting 100 subs, whatever it might be, a huge sub and supporter of Nick, I can understand your frustrations, but ultimately, and we tried to talk this out on stream to understand both sides of this, you were still supporting Nick. It was because of your sub count or you being in the chat or whatever you wanted to do, gifting subs. It was because of that support and keeping Nick at such a high sub count and returning every day and his watch time and his concurrent viewership. It was because you were there that Twitch then analyzed those numbers and were able to offer him a substantial check and contract deal in return for his sub revenue to give themselves a little bit of a bite back for what they were paying him. So although you were not directly supporting Nickmercs, you were still indirectly supporting him because with you gifting all those subs and being there the whole time, that's why Twitch offered him that deal that he accepted in the first place. But let's read some of these replies as people were again all over the board on this one. As Hunter is now back and active on Twitter, you guys should go follow him. And Fwiz, the former head of YouTube Gaming, responded to this saying, and many people agreeing with this was pretty normal across creator deals. You need to recoup and non-ad revenue as you're paying a minimum guarantee that largely is more than what you actually will recoup. Hence, these creator deals were largely loss leaders for all of these companies. Even with Kick, you need to justify it by user acquisition of people who will gamble. Hunter says, still think it's insane as I feel safe to assume the large majority of the public has no idea this is how it works. I feel like it's an omission, a live omission about who the money the fans are actually paying is going to. Who would sub to a streamer knowing they got nothing from it? And then Fwiz says, yeah, I'm not sure how the contracts work, structured on disclosure of deals to the public. Personally, when I structured them, I imagine back when he was at YouTube, I still wanted a percentage of the sub revenue to go to the creators that would incentivize them to give a crap still and make sure fans didn't feel misled. And then Modern Warzone also had a tweet about this and a large number of responses, some of whom from other creators who have seen deals just like this before. I'll showcase you guys a few of those replies, but certainly amongst them were people that were actually upset at Nick or especially at Twitch because they had no idea they were trying to sub to Nick and that money was going somewhere else. This is why I think it's important to clarify. Nick accepted this deal. Nick's team is very smart. They knew what the deal did include. This was not some hidden clause, and they knew what they agreed to because they wanted a minimum guarantee. And then, of course, a part of that agreement, the only reason it works is I imagine he was not allowed to disclose that to his audience saying, hey, by the way, don't sub. This all goes to Twitch because that kickback, that recouping of money that they are paying to Nick, part of which came from taking all of his sub revenue back. I can almost, I can't say guarantee, but I would assume that Twitch still lost a lot of money on this deal with Nickmercs. Although they probably gave him a good substantial portion of money, and yes, they probably got some of it back. I imagine at the end of the day, he made out very well, and hence why these big streamer contracts and contracts like this are probably not going to continue to be a thing, I would imagine. Again, that's an assumption that I'm thinking is the case. And so I think a lot of people are going to give Twitch hate for this, although if you're going to hate on Twitch, I think you also need to direct at least some of that to the streamers who are also taking these deals because they're knowingly taking these deals and then knowingly not disclosing to their audience, hey, this is all going to Twitch. But again, if you wanted to support Nick, you still are, just a bit more indirectly. Yes, your $5 sub is not going to him, but it's that inflated sub count that gave Twitch the opportunity to give him the big streamer contract because they wanted the sub revenue instead. You feel me? So I think a lot of people were upset about this because Hunter pointed out it's a little scummy of a tactic, and hopefully that's why we're tailoring away from these kind of contracts. But curious what you guys think about this. At the end of the day, I don't think Nick was upset with Twitch. It's, again, the deal he took and he made out very well. So I feel like if you're a diehard Nick supporter and he's not upset, you probably won't be upset. But I did see some responses of people who were, and it's a big debate that at the end of the day, I don't think I have too harsh of a stance on, but it's definitely curious to talk about. What do you guys think about this? Till next time, take care of yourselves. Thank you for leaving a like and a comment down below. We appreciate you, and there will be a couple videos coming from this as Nickmercs addressed a lot of situations with his Kick deal. At the end of the day, this is huge for Kick, by the way. We've been talking with them for quite some time on the esports and gaming side. I hope they put the foot on the gas and do more things like this, and it should be exciting to see what comes next. Till next time, take care of yourselves. We'll see you back here soon.